Hi, welcome to About Town, a program about the 169 towns in the state of Connecticut. I'm here in Wilton today with Greg Clark. Hi, Greg.
Hello.
All right. And we're here at Artifact. We've been here before. It's been a few years, and it's just stunning. And I'm going to probably just not ask you too many questions today, Greg. I'm just going to let you take the microphone. I trust you by now. And we're going to discuss what's new, what's old, what's here, what's not here, and just let us all know how this is really terrific. Also, how you've managed to get by with Route 7 being constructed, if that's not too touchy. And just go right for it. It's gorgeous stuff. I think it's gorgeous. It won't be totally impartial if I give it, but I think you could talk better than I could about this. Here you go. I trust you.
Sure. Well, welcome to Artifact. Welcome to Artifact. We've made some great progress in the last couple of years since you were last here, and we're very excited about where we're going right now. We've added a lot of new furniture to our product line. We've added a second company to our product vision, and we've also collaborated with a world-renowned curator for contemporary textiles and fiber sculpture, Tom Grotta from Brown Grotta Arts. And so we've been able to grace our walls with his beautiful artwork that he has collected from around the world from over 100 artists. And we've integrated that with our furniture. Part of our mission is not only to create our own beautiful objects, but to more or less act as patrons of the arts. And we're really pleased to be able to have Tom Grotta and Brown Grotta join us in our mission and grace our walls with very beautiful contemporary textiles. And Tom will give you some of his background, but he's one of the leading experts internationally on contemporary textile and fiber arts, and we're happy to be able to have him here.
What we have here in this sort of partnership, which is unique, is in Wilton, which is really a fine and unusual in this area, is we have our collection, which is arguably one of the most important collections of contemporary textiles you'll find anywhere, and custom furniture, which you can't find anywhere. So everything you walk into this store and see, or shop or showroom or whatever you want to call it, is unique. You can go around the corner, you can see what you can find other places, but there's nothing here that you will find in any place else. And so that's what makes us special. And the level is there of high quality, but it's also uniqueness and a one-of-a-kindness. And that's why people come from outside of Wilton to Wilton, because they can't get this in New York. They can't get this elsewhere, and that's what makes us really special. The Brown Grotta Arts for over 20 years has been representing some of the finest contemporary textile and sculptural basket artists from around the world. We represent over 90 artists from countries as far away as Slovenia, Bulgaria, Japan, as well as the United States. And most of them are in major museum collections throughout the world. And so this is really, when you go to the crafts question, which is something that is, people try to equate this with, because the only relationship to crafts is handmade, including the major museums that are in this field of recent vintage. The Museum of Art and Design, which has moved away from crafts to be design and art, and the Racine Museum, which is again a museum of contemporary art, no longer just crafts. The Mint Museum. So the craft movement there's a separation. These are people that arguably, people want to categorize, but really don't fall into that category. It happens to be art. We have in this show here at Artifacts some of the major players in the field, from up and coming to established artists. Behind me, there's two pieces by Chioko Tanaka. What? Out of ground fabric. Chioko is an interesting thing in Japan. They don't usually let the women artists go ahead and do non-traditional things. It's not accepted until they become successful outside of the country. And she did a show in Amsterdam with the ceramic artist behind me, Koyama, and in Amsterdam. And after that, she has become a very popular Japanese artist. In fact, when the Museum of Modern Art had their show of Japanese textiles, she had the two largest pieces in the show. This piece is actually woven traditionally on a small obi loom, which is why it's so narrow, but then she grinds it with brick to actually break the fibers themselves, and that's how you get that wonderful texture behind me. I don't know if you can pan around the room here, but the bamboo basket on the table is by Jiro Yanazawa. He won the Kotsen Award, which is the highest honor you can get in bamboo basketry. He's the first recipient, of my knowledge, who wasn't living in Japan at the time, although he's born in Japan. The piece was actually made in Oregon, although he's moved back to Japan due to his father recently passing away and trying to take care of his mother. But what's unique about it is not just the style and the technique. It's a beautiful bamboo basketry, but it's the irishi lacquer, which is what he uses to cure the bamboo, which gives it that lovely finish. He also made the knotted piece that's above the cabinet here, which actually was a steel form that he's a form that he's wrapped the bamboo around to create that form. Above the Yanazawa piece is a diptych by Jin Suk-so. It's made out of steel mesh. It's 28 karat gold leaf electroplated onto steel mesh. And she's originally from Korea, although spent many years in Sweden. Actually, we sponsored her to come to the United States for a while to work, and she's back in Korea working at the moment. We can go around the room to here, the stone piece. We mix the mediums. The Mix the Mediums is by Sue Laudy, who was last year's artist in residence at the in England at the Victoria and Albert Museum. It's all made out of river stones that she hand picks out and then creates the grids. But she's also as well known for her weavings, which we've had here previously. At the moment, they were all sold out, so this is the one of her stone pieces. On the table here is a white birch basket by Mark Hukasonen, who's on a 15-year grant from the government of Finland. Is known for his pussy willow baskets, his wood forms, his furniture, and his sculpture. So there's, as we walk around the space, there's a portrait around the corner here woven by Ethel Stein, who's in her 90s. We're about to produce our 33rd or 34th catalog, which comes out next week, called our Monograph Series 3, about the history of Ethel Stein's work. The triptych to the right of Ethel Stein on the wall is by Linda Welker. Quite frankly, she was has had brain cancer and thought she was that this may be the last piece she was ever going to make. And she said to me, "Will you represent this piece? No matter what works out." Now they came up with an operation that gave her 15 years before she has to deal with that. But when she was making this piece, she wasn't sure whether this wasn't going to be the last piece